Hello everyone, my name's Peter and today we're going to be making some delicious meatballs. For today's recipe you're going to need 1 egg, 1 large onion, 6 cloves of garlic, you're going to need some tomato passata, some chopped tomatoes, and you're going to need 500 grams of mince, a wee bit of oil if you've got that, and maybe some extra seasoning we add in at the end. Today's recipe is going to be really quick, really cheap, really easy. We'll show you how you can all fling it together. So for today's recipe we're going to start off by making the sauce. So we need to chop up our ingredients, so we're going to start off with chopping our onion. So you want to start that off by chopping your onion in half and peeling it. Then we're going to just dice our onions into wee pieces, like so. But if you're unsure how to dice your onions, we have got a step-by-step process in our handmade burger video you can watch if you're not sure how to dice your onions. This is the onions. So our next step is to finally chop up the garlic. So this is our garlic. We only need 4 cloves for the sauce, so you're going to keep 2 cloves later on for our meatball mix. So you only need 4 cloves now. So first we're going to start off by peeling our garlic. So there's our peeled garlic. Now if you're really struggling to peel your garlic, you're finding it quite difficult to get the skin off, there's just a wee thing you can try. You can use your knife. So you set your side of the knife just across the garlic and just hit it down with the palm of your hand, so you're not touching the blade, touching the sharp bit of the blade. Just kind of break the garlic, it'll break the skin. Peel off much easier to use. And we're just going to finally chop our garlic. So I'm just going to take small slices of it. So I'm just going to cut it into kind of fine pieces, just nice and small. You don't really want massive bits of garlic through your sauce mix because it can be quite overpowering. So I like to have mine quite small, so I'll keep the end away. So I'll just chop it into wee bits, line them up, and just lean on the top of your knife, just kind of dice them up like so. That's how I like to chop my garlic up. Just get them back in the same place and just repeat the process until they're into tiny wee pieces. Some of them will shoot away, but you just bring them all back together. Again, repeat the process until the garlic's all finally chopped up. You just continue that like so until you're happy enough with how small the pieces are. And you're just going to repeat that process with all 4 of your cloves of garlic until you've all got a nice neat wee pile of finely chopped garlic. And there we have our finely chopped garlic. If you obviously have a garlic crusher at home, it'll be a much easier process than taking up the time of chopping the garlic. But if you don't have that, your knife and hands will work just as well. So for our sauce mix, we're going to heat a wee bit of oil in our pot, and then we're going to add the onions to brown for a little, then add the garlic, and then we'll take it from there. So first we're going to turn our hobs on. So turn on the second highest on the electric, so that'll be a 5. So you want it quite warm to start it to heat up quite quickly. And I said just a little oil. Again, any oil, whatever your preference is, we'll get that heated up. So now the oil's hot enough, we're going to cook your onions. So if you want to test your oil, see if it's hot enough, just drop a couple of onions in. You hear that sizzle, hopefully you hear that sizzle. That means it's hot enough, ready for all your onions to go in. So add all your onion. Just your onion at this time, not garlic, because that cooks a little quicker and we don't want the garlic to burn. So we've got all our onions in there. Just mix it so it doesn't burn to the bottom. I'm going to keep that cooking for a little bit, just until our onions start to go kind of clear and kind of brown. So now we've got onions at that stage, we're going to add in our garlic. We're just going to let that cook in there for a minute. No longer than a minute really needed for the garlic. Add it all in, give it a good mix up. It's still just sizzling away. Once I've let that cook for a minute, we're going to add in our passata firstly. So you're going to put almost all of this in, because we're going to make a lot of meatballs, so we're going to need a lot of sauce to go along with meatballs. So I'll get that all in there. And then lastly for our sauce, we'll go down and add in our chopped tomatoes. So again, a full tin of chopped tomatoes straight in the pot. Going to give it a little stir around. Get a good start. Make sure anything's stuck or burnt to the bottom. Get off the bottom. Don't worry about it, it'll add extra flavour if it's burnt to the bottom, so don't panic too much if your onions were starting to burn. The sauce will help loosen that off. So you want to get it nice and warm. Once you've got it starting to kind of bubble or boil, you want to turn it down to simmering heat. So you can now see it's starting to bubble, boil away. So it's definitely hot enough. So we're going to turn down to a nice low heat, and we're going to let it simmer away while we make our meatball mix up and get them ready to go. So now that we have our sauce simmering on the pot, we're going to start working on our actual meatball mix. So we're going to make our meatballs now. So we're going to start off with our 2 cloves of garlic that we'd have left from earlier, from our 6 cloves. Again, we're going to peel them, we're going to finely chop them, and then we're going to mix them all together with our mince. So there we have our finely chopped garlic. So for the mix, we're going to need our mince, our garlic, and our 1 egg. And we're going to need a large bowl, because we're going to mix it all together in this big large bowl. So we're going to start off by getting all our mince in there first. Just break it up, put it in your bowl. All in there, like so, perfect. Then you want to add in your garlic mix. Get it all in there. Right, so this gets really interesting with your meatballs. So you can pretty much add any seasoning at this point, however you like to taste your meatballs. If you like spicy meatballs, you can get some spices in there. If you like some mixed herbs for your meatballs, again a good addition. If you've got salt and pepper, I'd recommend you add it into this point. But any spices you've got, just add it in. And however you like your taste with your meatballs, add it at this stage, perfect opportunity. But now we're just going to go with the simple, just garlic and mince mixture. We're just going to crack an egg into it. So, try not to get any of the shells in there. Perfect. After you've cracked your egg, or use your hands with eggs at any point, I would recommend you wash your hands, just so you can keep it clean. So after you've got nice clean hands, you just want to mix it all together. It's all nice, well and combined. So you can get your hands in there. If you don't want to get them dirty, just use a spoon. Just mix it all together until it's nice and combined. So it'll all come together. The egg should help combine into a big ball. So you just mix away until you get it all combined together. So just keep mixing and mixing. So your finished product should essentially look like one big massive meatball, well combined together. Obviously not going to cook it as one big meatball, we're going to separate it into about roughly 20 mini meatballs that we're going to cook today. So we're going to take a wee tiny bit, roll it into a wee ball, till we've got 20 of them, and we're going to take it to the next step. So you're just going to break a wee bit at a time. Tiny bit, try and keep them all the same size. If you've got more than 20, that's fine. Less than 20, you're doing fine as well. So you roll it into a wee ball. If you get your hands nice in there, so you've got your wee meatball essentially there. So say we're going to make 20 of them, roughly from this mixture. And there we have our 20 meatballs. Small in size, but you better make sure you roll them quite tight. You don't want to fall apart once you brown them, so you want to be quite neat, tight, rolled together. So I made 20 out of this. You can make them a bigger bunch with smaller meatballs. You can make bigger meatballs in a smaller portion. however your preference is, but I've just made 20 equal sized ones for today. So it would be about 5 meatballs, roughly each for a wee family of 4 we're going to feed with this recipe today. So we're now ready to brown off our meatballs. You can still see the sauce is simmering away there, soaking in all the flavours, ready to get our meatballs in there. But firstly, we need to brown them off. Hopefully they'll all still stick together. Once they're browned, we're going to get them in the mix. But first we're going to heat up a wee bit of oil in our pan again, ready for our meatballs to go in there. So just a little oil again. Again, whatever oil is your preference at this stage, so a little oil. Again, we'll get that heated up nice and early, so we'll get that at a high heat to start off with. So again, I'm going for a 5 on our electric here. Now that my oil's hot enough, I'm just going to turn the pan down to kind of high medium heat, just so my meatballs don't burn. They should let off a lot of their own juices, so they shouldn't burn. But I'm just going to make sure just by turning it down just one touch, so the pan isn't overly hot. And then I'm going to add my meatballs in. And you're just going to brown them. You don't want to let them cook all the way through because they're going to go in your sauces, and that's going to allow them to cook right through and with your sauce. So you're just kind of looking to brown, get all the pink edging all brown around the outside and ready to go into your sauce. So again, you should hopefully hear that sizzle, and you just want them all in there. Hopefully they don't break apart. You should have rolled them quite neat and tight so that doesn't happen. Again, there's a lot of meatballs there, so you might need a big pan, you might need a big pot. These should all fit in my pan though. Just squeeze them all in. Again, they're going to take about 4 or 5 minutes just to brown. You're just going to keep continually turning them until they're kind of all brown around the outside. You can't see any pink, and that's when they're ready to go in your sauce. So there we have our meatballs nice and browned, ready to go in our sauce mix, and we're going to leave them to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, just so they cook thoroughly through, soak up all that flavour, and they'll be ready to enjoy. So we're just going to transfer our meatballs into our sauce. So your meatballs will have shrunk when you were frying them, so don't worry too much about that if that's happened. You've got them in your sauce mix, get a good mix together, get them all covered, all deep in the sauce. Sauce is the main part of the meatballs. You want it nice and flavourful, nice and tasty. So got them all covered. Again, just leave it at a low heat, leave them to simmer, as I said, for about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to be leaving them here for. And you'll know they're cooked. You can just take one out, chop it through the middle, it's brown all the way through, you know they're perfectly cooked. So you are going to cover it. Just kind of trap the heat, trap the flavour, so allow the meatballs to cook right through, giving that nice juicy taste. So we're going to leave them there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and we're going to check up with them, and we're hopefully going to enjoy them. So we've had them cooking in there for a good 15 minutes. So we're going to take one out, see if it's ready, and then we're just going to serve up and enjoy. So get the lid off it. Got a serving bowl here, so we're just going to remove one of the meatballs just to make sure. So we'll get one nice big one. That's a very big dish. Basically, you want to chop that in half. There you go. So you want to make sure there's no pink in the middle there. As you can see, it's brown all the way through, so you know it's nice and cooked and ready to serve. You might have ruined the presentation of that one, but it'll still taste as good, so don't worry about that. So yeah, we're just going to serve up our meatballs now, and they're ready to go. And there we have it, folks. There's our tasty meatballs. You can serve these up with any type of pasta, potatoes, rice, however you like it really, with your meatballs. They're a good mix with anything. But hopefully you enjoy this video and you enjoy the meatballs. I'll certainly be enjoying them later.